the first time we jumped in the water in Norway, and we were in there for 4.5 minutes. And that was longer than any ice bath I've had, but it was snowing. I'm breathing in, freezing cold
Yeah.
air, and
Windy.
it's windy, and I'm also moving. You sit in an ice bath, and there's a couple of mil of water that starts to heat up if
Yep.
you stay still. You're treading water, then none of that's happening. So a lot of it was trusting Ross and listening to Ross's voice, and just kind of, again, back to what you said about the trust. If I didn't have Ross there coaching me through it, having also done it, and even to even more extremes, I would have questioned it to no end. And in particular, on the actual swim itself, halfway through, I was like, every part of me was like, "You're dying. Get out of the water. This is ridiculous." Out of nowhere, once the initial sort of adrenaline went, I felt the most extreme headache, pain right to all through and to the back of my eyes, in front of my head, everywhere. And I was looking at the bottom as I was swimming, and I started getting really dizzy. And then I all of a sudden stopped, and I was like, I'm going to throw up. Like, it was that painful. And then I look, and I've actually swum off course a bit, and I've started swimming toward where the couple of the camera guys are. And they're like, the buoy's that way, go that way. So I head down again. And the whole time I'm just like, nah, get out, get out, get out, get out. And then I have another voice in my head. I have Ross's voice there saying, come on, fight, dig in. And I just started going for it. But what starts to happen is your arms and legs are just like lead balloons. Nothing works. And I didn't even, I felt like I was swimming like this, a little chicken
Yeah,
arms
and you
or
can't
something.
keep your fingers together.
Can't
So
keep
your
your fingers
fingers start
together.
to splay. You can't
Yeah.
hold the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was gnarly. And then I got to the buoy, and they're all cheering and stuff. And, Darren said, I was waiting for a big celebration. I was like, I couldn't move. I was going to die. And then the jet ski pulls up, and he's like, well done, mate. And I'm like,
I can't get
you
out.
help me on, mate. I can't lift my arms. And they drag me up onto it. And then the same thing would have gone on the boat. Everyone's like cheering, and Ross is like, get out of the way. And he came in with a blanket and a little beanie and sort of started warming me up and so on. Yeah, it was wild.